no exception being these games in the Garden. We've been in there in New York City most of the years that we have been here. So it's been a great venue for us to play, whether it was in Barclay or Madison Square Garden. Really got a good opponent right here with Marquette, who returns everybody but one player from a very good team last year. And they've added to their team with 2 transfers, a graduate transfer that's making a big difference, and a transfer a little guard that transferred from UNC Asheville. So they really have a deep team, especially on the perimeter, with a lot of scores, putting up big numbers. So our defense will really be tested.
John, you want to start something?
Coach, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen out of Derek in the first couple of games in terms of his aggressiveness and doing things that you want?
Yeah, I mean, I love the way he is shooting the ball right now. He's making 3 threes a game, very short and small data. But to do that, it means he's looking at the basket. I still want him to take more ownership of this team defensively, of helping others out, of directing people. He's certainly much different than our freshman as far as his defense, but he is still, there's some things there right there. I think he's really talented. And just keeping that focus when you're on defense, you're on defense. When you're on offense, and really stay solid. I want him to take the ball to the basket more as well. Get to the foul line, a lead foul shooter. And as you see the way they're calling the game, we got to take the ball to the basket.
Mark?
In terms of trying to get fast starts, I mean, are there things to try to do to work through that a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know. That's always a tough thing. I think that for some reason, we've come out and haven't got off to a type of start we want to get to, but we've had those good runs at the end of the half. I think, I know Marquette, their steals are really high. They're going to come out and try and impose their will. So if we do not take care of the ball or make the shots, we'll get behind early. We got to really take care of the ball from the very beginning. But I don't have a solution for that yet. Maybe our rotation, who knows?
In terms of playing 2 in 2 days going in,
Yeah.
I mean, is there, with a team that's got a lot of new things, I mean, how do you deal with it?
Well, that's going to be interesting. We got to play to win, first of all, and worry about the next day. But yeah, you will see Alex Nibby, in there in the first half. We're hoping that we're 100% healthy. There's nothing but a few nicks and things like that, but you never know. But we'll try to reduce minutes the best that we can and still win that game. But 2 games in 2, we do get to rest on Saturday and Sunday a little bit before we make our next trip. But I'd love to be able to, have our prime minute guys be at 30 minutes in these games. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Chris?
You mentioned rotation. Any chance Duncan, maybe you think about bringing him
We're going
off
to
the
look at
bench?
it one more time today, but there could be a change. We'll see.
Okay.
Duncan has really improved in some areas, DJ has really improved in a lot of areas as well. So sometimes that may be matchup driven, or just who do we want to come off the bench with some swag, right? And so that's we'll figure that out.
Have you seen Duncan continue to improve his shooting in
Yes,
practice?
yes, he has, absolutely. So the shooting rate thing is not the deal with us right now. It's just, and it's not Duncan's fault as much as it is DJ Wilson has really become not just an athletic defender, but he is talking, he's understanding the game, he's helping his teammates out. You'll watch him, he's the most pointing at people. I got him, who do you have? That many of our guys are just saying, who do I have? So he's taking his defense to the next level right now. GPS still has to get better, but he's doing some good things.
Are his Beilein beer shorts you're doing?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. We're going to ask that today. It'll be the first question. I met with the Maze Rage the other day, and there was 100 of them there. And any questions? What about DJ's shorts? They're awfully short. Young co-ed asked me, and so I said, I don't have an answer. I will get back to you. But very fashion statement, I would assume.
Yeah.
I know it's only 2 games, but are you concerned with Derek's minutes?
Yeah, I like him.
Fired?
Yeah, we're going in this year. I think that the goal is to get him down, and we got to find a way to do that. And let's say I think Xavier right now is growing every day defensively, understanding all our offense is a process for every quarterback, as I call him. So no, I do not want this 36 minutes a game. But if we gotta win and hang on and try and get them rest later on, that's what we're gonna have to do.
Over here to Kevin.
Hey, Coach. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like early on Marquette's going with 4 guards and a center, and
Yeah.
kind of similar to what you guys are doing. So how do you see those matchups playing?
Yeah, they're really gone to it, where they actually have 2 big guys on their entire roster right now. And the one freshman Hauser is sort of like a 6'7", 4'3" shooter. So, but they only got the 2 big guys that are playing, Fisher and Heald or something, he's 6'10". So we got 4 of those guys on it, we got 5 of those guys on our roster. So they're really got more depth on the perimeter. Hopefully that our size at some of those positions may affect some things, especially DJ and Duncan at 6'8", 6'10", that will help us. But no, they're definitely, I would say 4 guards is more for probably 3 swing men, right, and a point guard.
Zach?
You mentioned last year that, even in practice, Derek's workload is higher than
Yep.
anybody else's. I mean, is there a conversation with him that's, hey,
Well,
don't go too much?
You know, we have the
in practice?
catapult system that we have the chip in their back, and we're seeing that. So yesterday, we made it a point that Xavier was in yesterday 2 out of every 3 reps, instead of 1-to-1 with Derek. And Derek would most likely be 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. So him and Zach, we really tried to reduce that workload the last 2 days. They know a lot of the things that we're working at. The tricky thing is keep them sharp, but we just gotta keep feeding X and Ibby as many reps as we can get them right now in practice. And maybe they don't play a lot in games, but they're getting reps in practice so that we can grow their time in games. But we're extremely cognizant of that with him and Zach. DJ Wilson, his workload every day is him, X, DJ, and Derek and Zach are our 4 highest workload guys daily. And so we can see that, we measure the whole week, the average, it's really interesting analytics for us.
And then how do Derek and Zach, because they're used to they want to take the load, how do
Yeah.
you convince them to scale back, and how do they take that?
Well, we gotta
discussion?
tell them to take themselves out of the lineup, and what happens is Derek, they're on the sideline coaching their position. They're coaching X, they're coaching Ibby, right? They're just coaching them the whole time, and that really helps. Because if we play DJ more minutes, then Duncan's gonna have to find a place on the left side if we move Zach to a 2 guard. So there's a lot of coaching going on to make sure they know the different positions. And it's not as easy as you would think.
Nick?
Is there one thing in particular that's standing between more minutes with Simpson, or is it just a general?
I think normal freshman stuff, normal things that, I think with all the, especially these 3 games coming up, they're gonna, I think that these are gonna be teams that are gonna really challenge us in every way, and that it could come down to single possession games at any time. So I think gradually he'll get there. And defensively, I like where we can go in and just say, he can go in and guard for 3 or 4 minutes and give somebody a rest. But timing with he and Ibby in our offense, both of them. Like I said, I think, I make the football analogy. You probably could throw Ibby out at wide receiver and say, here, run this route, and that's what you do. Or you read one other guy. Where X is reading 5 other guys, it's more difficult.
Do you catch yourself, I mean, is it beneficial maybe to just throw him in there at some point?
Yeah.
And see if he can do it?
Yeah.
I mean, and see
Yeah,
what you
no,
can.
and we're trying, that's why yesterday, he was in there almost the entire practice. Derek didn't take a day off, but if I can see it in practice, then he gets it more comfortable with everything. Because there is a lot of reads, it's a read and react, and so it's not just, hey, run this play, it's a read and react thing. And many freshmen have trouble for a little bit, and then they get it and play it second nature.
Coach, I know we've touched on this a lot already, but do you see this weekend as an opportunity to kind of see where Mark and Mo fit in to their role officially going forward?
Well, I think we've seen that right now, where they are now. Now, I was really encouraged by Mo's rebounding the other day. It's simple. What Mo does is what Ricky Doyle did a lot. They hand fight for rebounds, and then they become the one-armed man rebounding. And just in the last 2 days, we finally got Mo where he blocks now with his body and free in both hands. He's still not going above the rim to get many rebounds. But both of those guys they get in position, they got size, they gotta go get the ball. But, they're both very different. One's that rugged, tough, blue-collar guy down there, and Mo's the finesse player, and I think it's a good compliment to each other. But John Teskey's, we hope that he can play as well. I won't have any problem if we get in any type of foul trouble injuries, putting John Teskey in right now. We could also use DJ there if we needed to as well.
Chris?
With Zach, has he gotten back all the way athletically, do you think? Is he still maybe,
I think he's pretty close. He's better than he was last year, all year, that's for sure right now. But he is still, probably, we can't do some of the things in the summer that we've done in the past.
right?
So I just love where his in-between game is, how he's seeing the floor, he's leading, he's doing a great job with that. And he's gonna break out from the three-point line one of these games as well.
And then how far do you still have to go defensively to get where you want to be?
Oh, man, it's, as we emphasize certain things right now with what Bill wants us to do, we've lost some things that we always emphasized before. So, I do this not because I look for the season to go over. It's like, say, okay, if there's 100 practices in the year, you got 15 practices done, you got 85 more times to get better. That's my mentality. And I try to measure that. We only got so many days to get better. And so there's a lot of time to get better, but you also got to rest people. But we noticed some things in yesterday's practice that we flat out are holding the kids accountable. We as coaches have to emphasize that more. And I think that goes on in every sport. You lose some things when you're emphasizing something different.
Brandon?
So I know that there's still things you need to work on the defense side of the ball, but it's definitely been a lot better. What's it like kind of having that confidence now going forward? It's more so than
What
just-
it's like, here's the biggest thing is, I sat Billy next to me so I could listen to our D better. That's the primary reason, sit him next to me so I could listen to what's going on, and so that I could talk to it and address it better. At the same time, he's in my ear the whole game. I had to tell him to be quiet the other day because I was trying to watch what's going on, and I want to listen to him. So I think that's just that emphasize. I mean, he's really good with offense. Really good with offense. That's 20% of our practice. Even when we're doing a drill that I'm working at offense, he's working at taking away stuff we're trying to do. So it's really been good for us.
Coach? Go ahead, Andrew.
Yes,
Yep.
Coach, you mentioned Marquette, going for steals and things like that. Is there anything else you saw on tape we should look out for, I guess?
They're
Stood
just a
out?
slashing team with a lot of guys that can really score and want to score the ball. It's a fast-paced game. They're looking to score. They can get to the foul line. That would be the big thing. It'd be a matchup. Not a huge rebounding team. They're more, like I said, the four-out concept, they're getting back on defense, but very quick flow offense. It's not a bunch of set plays, a lot of flow involved, a lot like us. It is very similar.
Anything else?
Last one here.
I know you're not focused on Pitt and SMU yet, but they both have first-year coaches. I was just wondering your perspective. How difficult is it to be playing in big-time games early with a whole new staff, with a new team?
Well, Pitt's got a whole new staff, but I've known Kevin for a long time, and they actually run a lot of our stuff. SMU last year they ran the same stuff that they ran when Larry was there. So I haven't looked at either team very much right now. We'll probably wait. My assistants are ready to go with it. For us, it's just been, how do you beat Marquette?